other differences between 1974 and today that people talk about is that back then, because we had less experience with thinking about it, there was obviously a lot of research going on, but we weren't thinking about the ethics of it very much before then. Each case was treated as a case where you had to really look at the ethics. Today, the thought is each case is treated as one where you have to hold up the federal regulations and tick the boxes that are relevant. And so you've been on IRBs over a 20, 30-year period. Is that a false indictment? In your experience, do the ethical issues get as much attention, or have we gotten to the point, as people criticize, where ethics has been replaced with regulatory compliance?
Compliance, bureaucracy, and documentation. I barely suppressed my expression of irritation when a person from the OHRP, Office for Human Research Protection, got up in front of a primer audience and said, if it isn't documented, it never happened. We have certifying and accrediting agencies who are driving us toward an increasing preoccupation with documentation.
Because that's what they can check on?
Exactly. I mean, the President's Commission put together teams of experts to go out and look at university hospital IRBs. I was on a few of them. We had Brad Gray, who was sort of team leader, one IRB administrator, and one experienced IRB chair that went out and looked at, I think it's 5 or 6 IRBs. They then came back and filed reports, and then these reports were contrasted with the results of inspection by an FDA investigator. The correlation between the assessments of quality of review was almost non-existent. One of the institutions that we came on strongest about criticizing did not have one, what FDA calls, observation made by their investigator. And on the other hand, one that we, on the other hand, the other thing happened. What this tells me is that people who are experienced with the subtleties, the nuances of IRB review, see things that the inexperienced are simply not capable of seeing. They don't know where to look. We knew that when we had an FDA investigator, they would only want to look at our files. I would invite them to come sit in on an IRB meeting. You'll hear what we really do. Only one of them ever took us up on it. He's the guy who came in and said, I said to him, where did you park? He said, I'm parked in this street. I said, that's no parking area. You only have an hour parking there. He said, we have the advice from the field office that if they're not towing in that area, we'd rather pay the price of a parking ticket than the price of a garage. And then as he was leaving, he pocketed a sandwich and an apple, even though he told us he was not allowed to accept food from any investigated agency. I mean, there are some disappointments out there. I think our preoccupation with documentation is a great failing. It's almost like our departed friend, Jay Katz, kept saying if it were up to him, he would outlaw consent forms. That what you need to have is a conversation. He even went so far as to call it a searching conversation in one of his later books. And no one ever, I mean, we hear lip service. Yeah, we're going to have a good informed consent process. But the only thing that shows up when you get the inspectors out are the documents.